It seems like a new virus that's trying to kill us pops up somewhere in the world every other day. And we don't know how to fight 'em. Only the most advanced microscopic technology can see this virus. In recent decades, several viruses have jumped from animals to humans and triggered sizable outbreaks, claiming thousands of lives. Like the 2014 to 2016 Ebola outbreak in West Africa kills up to 90% of the people it infects, making it the most lethal member of the Ebola family. And there are other viruses out there that are equally deadly, and some that are even deadlier. Some viruses, including the novel coronavirus currently driving outbreaks around the globe, have lower fatality rates but still pose a serious threat to public health. Join us and let's discuss the top 10 most dangerous viruses in the world. Before we start, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so we can notify you to our new and next video. 10. Mers-CoV. Mers-CoV, also known as Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, sparked an outbreak in Saudi Arabia in 2012. Since then, intermittent outbreaks have been reported across 27 countries, including a 2015 outbreak in Thailand and another in South Korea. The MERS virus belongs to the same family of viruses as SARS-CoV, also known as SARS, and SARS-CoV-2, also known as COVID-19, originated in bats. As well, the disease infected camels before passing into humans. Human experiencing a symptom of fever, coughing and shortness of breath. The mortality rate is between 30% and 40%. As of November 2019, a total of 2,494 confirmed cases of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or MERS were reported globally, including 858 associated deaths. The majority of these cases were reported from Saudi Arabia, 2,102 cases, including 780 related deaths. Until now, MERS has no approved treatments or vaccine. 9. SARS-CoV. SARS virus, also known as Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, first appeared in 2002 in the Guangdong province of southern China. The virus likely spread from bats and then to humans. SARS spread to 26 countries around the world, infecting more than 8,000 people and killing more than 770 over the course of 2 years. The symptoms are fever, chills and body aches, often leading to pneumonia. SARS has an estimated mortality rate of 9.6%. The mortality rate was much higher for those over 60 years old, with mortality rates approaching 50% for this subset of patients. As of now, no approved treatment or vaccine had been invented yet. No new cases of SARS have been reported since the early 2000s. 8. SARS-CoV-2, also known as COVID-19, and was first identified by ophthalmologist Dr. Li Wenliang in December 2019 in the Chinese city of Wuhan. SARS-CoV-2 belongs to the same large family of viruses as SARS-CoV, known as coronaviruses. The virus likely originated in bats, like SARS-CoV, and passed through an intermediate animal before infecting people. Common symptoms include fever, dry cough and shortness of breath, and the disease can progress to pneumonia in severe cases. COVID-19 spread worldwide, infecting more than 4 million people, and 272,000 have died, and still counting. The virus has an estimated mortality rate of about 2.3%. People who are older or have underlying health conditions seem to be most at risk of having severe disease or complications. Until now, there is no vaccine available. 7. Rotavirus. They call this virus as a kid killer, which is often called a stomach flu, despite having no relation to influenza. It was discovered in 1973 by Ruth Bishop and her colleagues by electron micrograph images. Rotavirus is the leading cause of severe diarrheal illness among babies and young children. Over 453,000 children younger than age 5 died from rotavirus infection in 2008. The virus spreads rapidly through the fecal-oral route and causes severe diarrhea. It is a problem and claims fatalities where the young victims cannot be rehydrated adequately. 2 vaccines are now available to protect children from rotavirus. A vaccine that was developed has led to a sharp decline in fatalities of this virus. 6. Dengue. Dengue virus, caused by the bite of a mosquito, first appeared in the 1950s in the Philippines and Thailand, and has spread throughout the tropical and subtropical regions of the globe, affecting around 40% of the world's population. According to WHO, although the mortality rate is 2.5%, but can lead to dengue hemorrhagic fever with a mortality rate of 20% if left untreated. Between 50 and 100 million people a year are affected by this endemic. Symptoms, which usually begin 4 to 6 days after infection and last for up to 10 days, may include high fever, severe headaches, pain behind the eyes, muscle pain, fatigue, nausea, vomiting, skin rash, which appears 2 to 5 days after the onset of fever. Approved vaccine is available for those 9 to 45 years old, and a vaccine for children 9 to 16 years old was approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration in 2019. 5. Influenza virus. Also known as flu, this is the pandemic that's still around. No virus can claim credit for more worldwide pandemics and outbreaks than influenza. Pandemics occur around 3 times a century. The Spanish flu in 1918 is generally considered to be one of the worst pandemics in human history, infecting 20 to 40% of the world's population and killing 50 million in the span of just 2 years. The H1N1 swine flu was its most recent newsmaker, when a 2009 pandemic may have caused between 100,000 and 400,000 deaths worldwide in its first year. Flu is a contagious respiratory illness caused by influenza viruses that infect the nose, throat, and sometimes the lungs. It can cause mild to severe illness, and at times can lead to death. 4. Hantavirus. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, HPS, they are carried by several types of rodents, particularly the deer mouse, on their urine and droppings. Caused an outbreak in the early 1950s. During the Korean War, more than 3,000 troops became infected, and about 12% of them died. The second strain of the virus gained wide attention in the US in 1993. More than 600 people have now contracted HPS, and 36% have died from the disease. And the latest case was in Yunnan province of China, when man who died in late March 2020 tested positive for hantavirus. Although it typically cannot spread from person to person, hantavirus cases can be deadly with a mortality rate of 38%. The first hantavirus vaccine was developed in 1990s. 3. Smallpox. It is a historic horror, considered to be one of the most dangerous and historic disease in 20th century. Caused by the variola virus, the disease produces a characteristic rash, particularly on the face, arms and legs. Survivors were left with deep scarring, pox, and often went blind. The disease killed about 1 in 3 of those infected. Around 300 million people have died of smallpox worldwide. They said that the European explorers spread the virus across the world, wiping out an estimated 90% of the native population. The world was declared to be smallpox-free in 1980s after humans had battled the virus for more than 3,000 years. 2. Marburg virus. Marburg virus disease, MVD, formerly known as Marburg hemorrhagic fever. The virus was identified in 1967 when German laboratory workers were exposed to infected green monkeys from Uganda. Raucetus aegyptiacus, fruit bats of the Pteropodidae family, are considered to be natural hosts of Marburg virus. It is transmitted to people from fruit bats and spreads among humans through human-to-human transmission, causing severe viral hemorrhagic fever in humans. The World Health Organization said the mortality rate in the first outbreak was 25%, but it was more than 80% in the 1998-2000 outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and in the 2005 outbreak in Angola, making it to the top 2 on our list. Until now, no proven vaccine or treatment for this virus. 1. Ebola virus. Fruit bats and other African wildlife are the natural hosts of Ebola. The first known Ebola outbreaks in human structure, simultaneously in the Republic of Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo in 1976, it is known to spread extremely fast through contact with blood or other body fluids, or tissue from infected people or animals, rapidly taking over the body's immune system, causing muscle pain, headaches, weakness, diarrhea, vomiting, and even bleeding from the mouth and nose. An average fatality rate of about 50% to 90%, Ebola is truly one of the most dangerous viruses in the world. A recent outbreak of Ebola in 2014 to 2016 caught the world attention. The virus killed as many as 11,325 people during the outbreak, while 28,652 people said to have been infected by the disease. There are no proven treatments or vaccines for the virus at this time. Thanks for watching. Did you like our video? Make sure to subscribe. Do you have any suggestions or topic you want to discuss in a future video? Comment down below.